All right, Chapter 2, Field Manual 1067 1, Chapter 2, Section 4, Health Hazards. Petroleum health hazards. All petroleum present with a health hazard with the fuel handlers can eliminate these hazards. However, they should understand them. They should also know the measure that reduce the minimum. The right health protection measure will allow the fuel handlers to work with petroleum products with no ill effects. Field Manual 2111 to give them more information. Petroleum hazard classification. Petroleum health hazards for the classified according with the type of the petroleum container present. The petroleum contaminant classification: dust, gas, vapor, liquid. Contaminants are further classified by either the effect on the body, their physiological effects of the body, organ, tissue, and cell function. Contamination classification: physiological effects, toxic, anesthetic or irritation. Petroleum inhaled into the lungs, ingested with the digestive system, touching the skin, cause of the effects. Any given product, but it can be hazardous more than one containment form, and it causes produced with a combination of physiological effects. Dust are solid particles, substance with the result of a mechanic with the company of the operation with the grinding, with the scrape, the buffing, riveting, cutting, drilling. Dust can also come from handling dust producing materials such as sanding and sandblasting, evaporating, burning liquids, reducing residual containing. Fine divided substances also cause dust. Some of the dust of hazards because they are flammable dust. They are all combustible substances igniting explodable under certain conditions. Consider makeup of the physical properties, length of the exposure, quantity of the evaluating dust hazards. There are three types of dust: toxic, fibrous, producing, and not nuisances. Toxic dust is injures the body organ and tissue within inhaled into the lungs, ingested within into the digestive system, and tackle the body through the liver. Certain toxic dusts irritate the skin. Lead, magnesium, mercury, arsenic, and their compounds make toxic dust. Clean repairing tanks that contain lead gasoline produce one of the most toxic dust. Fuel handlers will encounter lead dust and fumes. Will also result from burning sludge from the lead gasoline. Lead toxic effects build up in the body. However, the body can resist lead poisoning even if it is given enough time between exposures. If it is not, each exposure adds to the effect of the one before. Unions should have their soldiers tested for lead periodically. Fibrosing producing dust injures lungs in such a way that normal tissue is replaced with fibrous scar tissue. The most common example is dust containing silica. This is called the disease silicosis. People that will running, grinding, polishing machines, standing, and sandblasting equipment may be exposed to such dust. Nuisance. These dusts may not cause severe injury, but they may cause inflammation, respiratory ailments. Personal allergies may be added to the effects of the dust. Alright, gases and vapor. People often use the term of the gas and vapor to mean the same thing. However, the difference of the gas exists solely with the ordinary temperature with the pressure. For the example, the oxygen is only present with the gas pressure for the temperature where they are normally found on Earth. The only way to make up the liquid and solids placed under the extremely low temperature they involve the hundreds of the degrees below what is normally found. The vapor and gas from the substance is also solid or liquid at ordinary temperature and pressure. Petroleum fuels are liquid at normal pressures and temperatures, but it gives off small quantities of gaseous petroleum vapor. Vapors are divided into the four groups depending on the effects of the body, with the poisonous, toxic, asphyxiation, anesthetic, and irritations. Gas and vapor can have the multiple effects on the body, and the effects of the also given below. Poisonous, toxic vapors have various effects of the body. They can injure and destroy the organs, blood, forming tissues, and bones. The most poisonous gas vapors are hydrogen sulfide found in crude oil with a high sulfur content, tetraethyl vapors found in leaded gasoline. Fuel handlers should avoid concentration of the potentially vapor at all times. Other dangerous gases listed in order of the toxicity are sulfur dioxide, ammonia, methyl bromide, butane, propane, various forms of freon. Freon is often used as a refrigerant. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher is slightly toxic. Carbon tetrachloride, often using various cleaning fluids and some fire extinguishers, is toxic. Effects build up in the body. It can also decompose any other high toxic gas, phosgene. For the reason for the carbon tetrachloride is no longer a approved use of the fire extinguisher, all vapors of flammable products are toxic in some degree. Alright, asphyxiation. Simple asphyxiation gases, vapors keep the lungs from getting oxygen. In other words, they replace the oxygen that is in the air. Some of the asphyxiations are methane related with the hydrocarbon, hydrogen, acetylene used in welding, torch cutting, and other dangers. Commonly encountered asphyxiation is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide produced with the running of the engines, any type of the fire. The carbon monoxide chemically reacts with the blood in such a way that the blood is unable to absorb oxygen and sustain the organs of the body. Carbon monoxide is tasteless and odorless. Victims gradually become extremely sleepy. An event of the usually passes without realizing what happens to them. The key to defeating asphyxiation and proper ventilation areas where they are present. Anesthetic gases and vapors have narcotic effect that depress the central nervous system to the point where the breathing and the failure occur. The all hydrocarbon vapors shall include petroleum products have the effect with the most narcotic acetone, all ethers, benzene, naphthens, gasoline, jet fuels. All anesthetic hydrocarbon diuretics contain members of the chlorine family, especially the burning of the hydrocarbon vapors can cause tremors of the heart, ventricles, narcotic effects of the gasoline jet fuel, increase the harmonic air content. Alright, irritation gases and vapors flame with the lungs and respiratory tract with maybe cause phenomena. Other pulmonary disease make the victim more susceptible to them. Most flammable gas vapors, irritants, where they are poisonous, narcotic, or neither. Alright, liquids. Flammable liquid products can cause internal medical problems if swallowed. Liquid petroleum is easily absorbed through the skin and causing similar problems with the effect that are given below. Inside of the body, flammable liquid products are harmful if they contact the skin and the mouth, potentially fatal if someone swallows them. If someone gets the petroleum in the eyes or mouth, flush their eyes and mouth thoroughly repeatedly with water. They should get medical help at once. On the skin, flammable liquid can cause skin contamination. Serious skin contamination depends on the substance of the most serious effects of the result of the contact with the strong acid, alkalines, rocket fuels. Effects of gasoline, jet fuel, solvents are less serious but still very harmful. Fuel solvent, paints, lacquers, varnishes, dries up the natural fats and oils in the skin, leave the skin harnished and dry and chapped. This discondition known as dermatitis. Unnatural skin openings, lesions increase with the chance of the infection. If the soldier gets a petroleum on his skin, he should wash it off at once in the soap of the water. If the soldier soaks his claws in the fuel, he should wet them with the water before taking them off. If no water is available, he should ground himself by taking the ground piece of the equipment. This step prevents sparking from the electrical system. Alright, fumes and mist. People are often using the term fume to mean the same thing as gas or vapor. Fumes are actually small particles in air solids that turn directly from solids to vapors without becoming liquid first. This process is called sublimation. Dry ice, iodine, sulfur are sometimes commonly found substances to do this. Lead compounds found in paint, lead gasolines also form fumes. Fumes differ from the dust and the dust that cannot return to their solid form. Chapter 3, Quality and Control. Quantity and Quality Control. Testing.